night after night confesses to strange religious practices, including the worship of an unusual object.
There are a lot of suggestions that this was, in fact, the skull of John the Baptist. Others have suggested that the severed head on the silver platter is, in fact, the Holy Grail.
The stories get stranger as Templars independently tell similar bizarre stories. Several Templars confess to worshipping the Baphomet, or Baphomet.
The Baphomet is probably one of the most spectacular aspects of the accusations against the Templars. Some have suggested that this is a stone idol of the devil, which was one of the most sensational aspects of their trial, trying to link them in some way with demon worship.
Other theories abound.
There are some scholars who suggest that Baphomet is actually a mistranslation of Muhammad, that the Templars were actually combining a number of different religious traditions in their own practice.
Thousands of Templars served for many years in the Holy Land. Some may have secretly absorbed religious beliefs from the Muslims, like reverence for the Prophet Muhammad, or Baphomet. The strange term still mystifies historians. In the early 1980s, a scholar named Hugh Schoenfield made a startling claim. Baphomet is a coded message.
Dr. Hugh Schoenfield is a famous Dead Sea scholar, has worked on this issue about the word Baphomet with using the Atbash cipher from biblical studies.
The Atbash cipher was an ancient Hebrew encoding technique in use since at least 500 BCE. When the Atbash cipher is applied to Baphomet, a new word emerges. Sophia, Greek for wisdom. To venerate wisdom isn't heresy unless the wisdom itself is heretical. Sophia is the ancient Greek name for a goddess worshipped by an early Christian sect, the Gnostics. Sophia appears in several Gnostic Gospels as the creator of the world, a figure greater even than Jesus. But the Gnostic beliefs are deemed heretical, and their Gospels are banned by the Church. Some scholars suggest the Templars discovered these Gospels and resurrected a lost form of Christianity. Was Baphomet code for goddess worship? Here, two theories converge. Some Gnostic Gospels say the goddess Sophia came to earth in the body of Mary Magdalene. Under the royal blood theory, Mary Magdalene carried the bloodline of Jesus. She became the vessel of holy blood, the Grail itself. In their written charter, the Templars dedicate themselves not to Jesus, but to Mary.
The question that has often come up is, who is the Mary? Was it the Blessed Virgin Mary, meaning the Mother of God, or was it, in fact, Saint Mary Magdalene?
If the Templars worshipped Mary Magdalene as equal to Jesus, it's one of the worst kinds of heresy. The question still lingers. The Templar Charter is dedicated to Mary, but doesn't say which one, or whether she was worshipped as a goddess.
Again, there are unanswered questions, yes, but there isn't yet any documentable evidence that the Knights Templar worshipped Mary Magdalene. It's just not there.
Under torture, the Templars may have confessed to practicing a heretical goddess religion, worshipping an idol, or even worshipping a human head. More likely, the Templars were innocent scapegoats for a king who decided to wipe away his debts. King Philip demands the heretics face justice.
I have here numerous eyewitness accounts of acts of heresy in name and deed.
Reluctantly, the Pope agrees. In 1314, the Knights Templar are officially disbanded. March 18, 1314. After 7 years of imprisonment and torture, Grand Master Jacques de Molay is executed as an unrepentant heretic. With his dying breath, it is said de Molay put a curse on the Pope and the King.
In a year, I shall see you both in a tribunal before God.
Within a year, both are dead. After 200 years, the Templars are no more. Their castles are taken, and their great wealth mysteriously disappears.
The Templar treasure that King Philip le Bel had seen with his own eyes, by the time his men got there to take possession of it, it had vanished.
Nobody knows what happened to the wealth of the Templars after they were suppressed. It has been suggested that 2 great carts of treasure were carted out of Paris right before their final arrest on Friday the 13th.
And from that point onwards, the Templars vanished from the record.
We know that the Templars survived, or at least that some Templars survived. They had adequate warning every place but France. And even in France, we know that some Templars escaped.
One theory claims a few Templars slipped out of Paris with their treasure. To this day, its whereabouts remain unknown, but a clue survives. This is Rosslyn Chapel near Edinburgh, Scotland. In the thriller The Da Vinci Code, the chapel appears as one of the key clues to the hiding place of the Holy Grail. A medieval church and a lost treasure may be linked by one man.
Rosslyn Chapel, this magnificent building, was built in 1446 by William Sinclair.
Sir William Sinclair is an enigmatic figure. Though he built the chapel almost 150 years after the Templars were officially disbanded, it has a tremendous amount of Templar symbolism. 2 riders on a single horse is a symbol of the Templars. It appears in Rosslyn. As does the Templar seal, the Lamb of God holding a cross. Throughout the chapel, mysterious engravings, symbols, signs, faces.
Encoded very cleverly within its artwork are little triggers that say, look closer, there are hidden messages here.
The predominant floor plan for medieval churches was the shape of the cross, but Rosslyn's design appears to be modelled after another famous structure. The chapel's layout and architecture give a clue to its inspiration, with 14 freestanding pillars, including 2 majestic pillars in front. It resembles the ancient Jewish temple described in the Bible. William Sinclair apparently built his chapel to match the original Jerusalem temple. The ruins of this ancient structure was the site of the first headquarters of the Knights Templar.
In Herod's temple itself, there were 3 floors beneath the temple floor. If this nave of the choir is Herod's temple, then you have to take that little bit of a leap and say there are 3 floors beneath here. There is no evidence for that. There's been no proof of it, no record of it. But if you can believe the story so far, then it's not too difficult to go that extra step.
More evidence links the chapel to the Templars. Some have theorized that there may be sealed chambers or vaults below Rosslyn Chapel. They may hold one of the world's greatest mysteries, the Templar treasure, the Holy Grail, or perhaps nothing at all.
The secret has been speculated on, anything from the mummified head of Christ to the Ark of the Covenant, to possibly scrolls from the Temple of Jerusalem, but no concrete